Welcome to another edition of Most Man. We went through Jesus tonight. It's been it's been a moment, hadn't it?
One trip to the store was a
we went to the store. We went to the store just to get just one plug. Good God, the whole world fell apart, man. We had a thunderstorm or a whatever the system that moved through here was freaking insane, man. So we've been sitting here around. We're just doing a whatever you want to call it, just an enjoyable one. We're thankful just to have power. Hell, we've been sitting in here for what, 2.5 hours with no power.
We were drinking beer, kind of gave up on the whole idea, and the lights came on. So
yeah, so now we're back. Go. So we're gonna do a quick one here. We're not gonna get into a bunch of stuff. But anyway, look, all right. So here's the deal. Most Man, like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, themostmen.com, info at themostmen.com. Okay? What is a most man, and what is the purpose of a most man? Okay, well, here's the thing. What a most man is a guy that is just he's just given up on life. I mean, he's had his there's so many levels of most men, but here's the thing though, is that you've got your younger man most man, you got your mid-age most man, you've got your real middle-age most man, and your later age most man, right? So, but what we're looking to do here is build better men. So what is a most man? A most man is a guy that is just, it doesn't matter if you're a young man, teenage man, young man thinking about getting married man, or a middle-aged man that's married, settling into marriage, or not an elderly man, but a man that's got older kids, and it's just it's tough. It's tough.
All right, so
but
Mark,
just one topic that I wanted to get on. So today we had the plan until this fucking horrendous storm came through, and man, it was powerful. It was a big one.
Trees down. We couldn't even get back here.
Oh, we had 4 different routes to get back, didn't we?
We should have bought beer when we were out.
I told you. I said, do you want to stop and get beer?
I said, no, yes, one. No, we'll drink one more and we'll be back anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
probably better we didn't. Let's go. We're here now.
We're good now. Okay, so what is a most man? Okay. A most man is, again, when you get in a relationship, you get married, you get engaged, you get into any of the stuff where all of a sudden you start getting this, well, most men will want to do this for their wife. Most women want to do this. Most men, this, that, and the other. And are we back on track? Okay. Yeah, I mean, we are intoxicated on this one.
Slightly.
It's okay. We've been through hell. Tonight's been hell.
Yeah, semis blown over on the road. The radio's like, we're going to break for the news now. It's like the news is the weather.
On top of that, we took that one road that we thought we were getting a detour on, and there was a tree on top of a fucking truck. You know, they're sitting over there shaking this thing, and it's like, no, dude, you're shaking a fucking tree. Just put your truck in reverse and take the scratches, man.
Yeah, we'd have helped him if we had a chainsaw or something, but we were...
It was raining so hard we couldn't even see in front of us. Everybody was in a dire situation.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ. No, I took a shot of tequila, man, and went down the wrong pipe, so I'm gonna be coughing for a minute here, just for a second. Anyway, so, all right. What is a most man? We're not gonna do a big show tonight. We're gonna knock out a few items, and then we're gonna let it rip, because we've had a night tonight, hadn't we?
Yeah, and my house is getting tore up with it right now because I'm 30 miles west of my house. So
No.
but we're on the backside and clear. But
But
hell,
this-
it's moving through East Texas, man. People in Louisiana are going to wake up at 3 in the morning to their trees falling on their house and cars.
But Jesus Christ, man, this was a good one.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
this one
wicked.
had some nuts, man.
They were saying 80-mile-an-hour winds at airports around here, and 80-mile-an-hour wind, man, that's like a hurricane.
Yeah. No, so I'm just going to touch on one thing, what a most man is, and then we're just going to let it fly on what happened tonight. Okay. So what is a most man? A most man is a guy that has given up on life. Okay. Not just life. He's given up that his woman is taking over his program. He's about to get married program, thinking about getting married program, youngly married program, having kid program, all of that, okay, to where it just gets to a point where you're just a guy that sits, you're a walking, talking ATM machine, and, you've just kind of given up that this is the new norm, okay? But we're here to get you back. So what we're building the man kit, and the man kit involves getting your man card, getting your balls back, a 12-step recovery program on how to maintain and retain, okay? And there's going to be some cool swag in there. But the thing is that after that, you join the men's club. And the men's club is meant to be we're having fun. This is the men's club, the podcast, where we're at right now. We're here to have fun. You're just catching me and Tim on a night where we've been sitting here drinking and been through a hell of a damn storm that just rocked our world. And we're just thankful to have power and to be here with you. And we're just going to let it fly tonight. There is no rules. There is no regulations. I'm going to smoke me a cigar. Me and Tim are going to talk about any bullshit, anything and everything that comes up. That's just what we're going to talk about. Because we came here sober, willing, ready.
Yeah, about 4 hours ago.
4 hours ago. Yeah, to do all this until we had fucking 80-mile-an-hour wind shoved up our ass.
Like Tyson said,
Yeah.
You got to plan till you get hit.
You got to plan until you
hit.
get punched in the face. Yeah, man, we got 80-mile-an-hour wind shoved up our ass, and now we sat here with this. Look at this little bitty ass candle. It has nothing left.
You know,
that's all we had.
When your power's out, you have no idea when the power's coming back on.
No.
It's a lonely, lonely feeling.
A dark feeling.
Yeah. You know, and when it goes out, like in the first 2 or 3 minutes, you have hope. And then once you realize that, man, all them dudes are working on other people's power.
But
You're just in line.
could you imagine being those dudes?
Oh God, they
up
earn
there
every penny they get.
Oh, yes.
It's some dude's wife's birthday, the kid's birthday. Honey, I'm on call. The storm's coming.
Yeah.
He's doomed. He knows it.
Oh, good God. So, hey, thank you. Encore, thank you. We appreciate you getting the power back on, because we did. We sat here with this little bitty ass candle. I don't know about if anybody can see how little it is, but that's all we had.
And it was our heat too.
Our savior. No, because it got cold.
Well, that's what triggered the whole thing. A cold front hits that humid air and whammo.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. What's up in Timmy's world, man? Let us know. Go for it, Timmy. Mike's yours.
Oh, well. All right. Well, I'm just proud to be part of this stuff. You know, I mean, Mark's actually passionate about this. And, I mean, I've known about it a long time, but this most man thing, man, the more people that see it and hear about it, the more everybody just kind of goes, you know, there's something to it. Because everybody's got some most man in them. You know, there's no way somebody can say, I'd never do this or never do that. I mean, we're always compromising and all of that, but you can't compromise to your own detriment, you know.
Well, no, I mean, just it's the drill, man. We're all men. We're all married. Well, or about to get married. Thinking
Or
about
used
getting
to be
married,
married.
or used to be married, or thinking about getting married. But sometimes you just you look back and you're like, man, did I make the right fucking decision?
Yeah, that fork in the road there a couple of years ago. Maybe I should have went. Maybe I should have weaved when I bobbed. You know.
Well, here's the thing: you lucked out. I lucked out. Okay. I'll get into all my shit later. That doesn't matter. But mine wasn't that bad. It got bad towards the end. But seriously, guys, I mean, there's things out there that you've got to be aware of, you know, getting into a shitty relationship it can totally derail your whole system in the best part of your life. I mean, your 20s and your 30s, that's the time. That's the time where you can conquer the world. And I did it. You did it.
Well, I didn't conquer anything, but I set myself up to be successful.
Well, no, but
I conquered my little world.
You conquered your world, but I conquered a big company, and I did well and did all this stuff. But it doesn't. But at the end of the day, that shit doesn't matter. I mean, we're all the same. We all wake up. We put our pants on the same. We wake up to the same sun. We wake up to everything that everybody else wakes up to. And there's a lot of people out there that just think, fuck, why can't I get ahead? And it's because of you. That's why you can't get ahead. You got to get a plan. Get a plan. And again, I'm about to light up my stogie here. We're having fun tonight. Damn it, we got electricity.
We had a bag of cashews. I mean,
No,
we weren't going to starve to death.
The building's still standing.
We had beer.
There's no
cashews.
tree. There's no tree sitting on top of one of our trucks right now. We won tonight.
I did ask Mark that when I got over here. I said, "Hey, is there any better place to park than not? Because the storms are coming." And I took a picture of it. It was so dark back behind us, and we knew that it was coming at us. And of course, you know, a camera doesn't do it justice. You know, your phone camera, it looked 1,000 times worse with naked eye than it did. But we were looking at that going, hell, it looks like a dust storm. It looks like something evil coming. And heck, we were in a Best Buy and the freaking lights went out. I took a picture of the lights being out. You know, all the security lights came on, and that don't happen every day.
Were those security lights or the regular lights?
No, those were just like security lights on the poles and stuff. All the, you know, the big troffer lights and all that, LED lights, that all went out. And then I called this one too. I said, it's going to take them forever to get them cash registers refired up because they're all computers. So Mark's trying to get out of there with his $30 worth of cords.
It wasn't even $30.
Yeah, he's like, man, can I just pay you cash? No, you can't pay cash. He goes, what if I just steal it? It's under $800, which I got a kick out. I mean, he was joking, but everybody got a kick out of it. Some guy's standing there trying to buy a television. Then they're like, hey, why don't you just go on the app and you can buy it with that? Oh, yeah, let's all get on the frickin' app while the power's out. And I mean, the power's back on at this time, but it was just taking their cash registers forever to spool up. But
well, no. What was funny is that
what I found funny is when we drove up, he parked about 4 or 5 spots further away from the building than he needed to, with all that bearing down, and I knew we were going to get drenched in the thing on the way out of there, you know, to get to the truck. So he said, "Hey, I'll go get the truck," you know.
No, hang on.
There was beer talk first.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing. Number one, those girls at Best Buy were absolute cuties.
Yeah, that one was just stunning. The one that said she ain't gonna die for Best Buy.
No, and they weren't. It wasn't $30. Okay, those things were like $6.99 a piece, and I needed one. I was like, because here, I needed this piece for that camera right there, the one that I'm looking in right now. I needed you, the one piece that I had for you. I had to order it on Amazon because I drove all over town for probably a week trying to find it, and nobody had it. So I knew we were dead in the ditch. Okay, so what happened was I was in here one night doing some stuff, and my dog, or it was me or somebody, but well, I'll just take the blame. I was drunk, okay? And I knocked over the tripod, and it bent the USB cord or the mini USB or whatever that thing's called. Doesn't matter. So that camera's been fucked up for a while. Now it's working like a champ. Look at that. Look at that. Okay?
All I can see is your cigar.
Well,
You got your cigar.
I don't care.
Well,
I don't care. We survived the hurricane. That's what they were saying on the radio, the hurricane. But no, here's the thing. So we're at Best Buy getting something that was supposed to be impossible to get, and we finally find it, and it's $6.99. $6.99. I traveled the earth looking for this one part. Not this time, but last time. Okay? So we get up to the cash register, and they're like, well, the only way you're going to do it is on Best Buy app. And I was like, well, how about I just pay you cash? $6.99. I've got 3. I'll give you $50 cash. Just keep the change. Split it between all of you. Whatever. Nah, we can't do that. Okay. Well, for all you lawmakers out there that have made the law that it's okay to steal anything under $800, that's what I asked them. I said, hey, what if I just steal it? It's under $800.
you're trying to better your family, you know. That's always the...
Yeah, well, but shit, but I'm walking out in the freaking 40 days and 40 nights.
Monsoon out there.
Yeah. Go ahead and steal it, you dumbass.
Probably get hit by lightning on the way to the truck.
Yeah. So we finally get out of there. And Tim's like, man, rain's moving sideways. And I'm like, shit, we've been here before. Don't worry about it. Let me run to the truck and get the truck. I'll come pick you up. And I trot my fucking ass out there. And I've just had ankle surgery about, I don't know.
Around the holidays, 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah, 4 or 5 months ago. And I'm running out there in some Crocs that definitely need replacement, okay? And I'm starting to run, and I'm like, holy shit, hold on just a second. I just got back off this broken ankle surgery. My shoes are full of fluid. I'm slipping and sliding everywhere, and it is pissing down rain. I mean, pissing down rain. Finally get to the truck. I'm sopped from head to toe.
Oh, and it's cold. It was 20 degrees colder than when we went into the store 20 minutes before that.
Yeah. So I get back to the store, pick Tim up, and and our agreement was if I run out in that, okay,
to pick me up at the front door.
Yeah, we'll stop, get a beer. He buys me a beer. But I get out there, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about a beer. I just want to get the fuck home, right?
Yeah.
And I'm calling my son, and my son's like, man, it's windy out here.
The power's out, the power's on, the power's out, the power's on.
Yeah, all the shit that we have in our burn pile and all this, that, and the other, it's on the other side of the fence, and we're looking into this black cloud, and it's like, man, this is pretty fucking gnarly, right? And so, oh God, we finally get here.
And the radio's just going, yeah, there's a semi on its side on 820, and, you know, I-30's closed at such and such exit, and, you know, and we're driving around like idiots trying to find a cord. You know what, though? If the cord would have worked when we got here, we'd have been about an hour into the podcast, and then the power would have went out. So that would have drove you batshit crazy.
No, it was out. It was out.
No, I'm saying if the cord was working when we got here. Oh, the cord worked fine. The one he had, as long as you jiggled it every 12 seconds, and so he's like, I'm sick of this thing. Let's just go get a good one. Well, we left the mothership and all hell broke loose.
Yeah, no. So it's been a wild night. So we're doing it tonight. So, but no, it was fun.
Hey, shout out to you folks in Louisiana. You got about, I hope you see this in the next hour, because you better hunker down, because it's coming your way.
Yeah, but they won't see this for a week.
I understand. So
maybe 2.
It's a nasty line.
Oh, it was deep red.
Oh, there was tornado warnings popping up on the radar left and right.
No, it had every warning possible on there. I mean, it was deep red.
Meteorite warnings even. Shit,
yeah.
It was out of control.
Fucking aliens are coming. Yeah. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah. Well, we got our orb going, so we're under control.
Yeah. Why wouldn't we be under control?
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I'll buy you a candle for Christmas, because you need another one.
Well, yeah, that one's lacking some stamina.
Some intensity.
Nah, it's lacking some stamina, and I'm gonna fix that. Now, almost honestly, today went and bought one, because this is my man cave. Not on top of my podcast studio. This is my man cave, and yeah, this candle. It's what kills the cigar smell. So, yeah.
All right. So you got any more most man advice out there?
I don't think that, man. To be honest with you, I don't think that we needed to get into any of that shit tonight. I really don't.
Yeah, we were ready for bear earlier.
Oh, we were ready for bear earlier, but man, we had the bear in front of our face for.
The bear wore us out.
Yeah, the bear was there, and no, I'm just kind of looking to chillax. So you can talk about anything you want to talk about. I'll talk about anything I want to talk about. Just any regular conversation, whatever the fuck you want to talk about. Let's talk about it. I don't give a shit. Just make sure you hit your camera.
Yeah. Well, I will say we're lucky that we didn't get the 2 or 3 inch hail that was up there by Denton and up north Texas. But we did dodge the hail. When we were in the store, we did hear a little hail pinking off the roof up there, but we got lucky from that standpoint. But hail, man, 3 inch hail. I mean, that's like getting shot. So, yeah, we're playing with house money right now. My truck didn't get beat up. None of your trees fell on my truck.
I got some big trees here.
Yeah. Heck, man, some of these storms come through. Well, there wasn't a bunch of rain first, but if there's a bunch of rain and then you get something like that, man, you see them trees tumped over with a giant ball of roots like 12 feet up out of the ground. It's unbelievable what the wind can do to rip a 200-year-old tree out of the ground and throw it on your house.
Well, it depends on how wet the ground is.
Yeah, see, it's been kind of dry, but you get that moist ground, that thing doesn't have much to hang in there.
Well, no, I'll just a story about this, and then I want to talk about hail after this, okay? We talked about this story in the truck, okay? But down in South Texas, when we had that place down in South Texas, we got 4 foot of rain in 3 days from Hurricane Harvey. It set right on top of us. And that's what happened, is it saturated the ground so bad, okay, that it uprooted trees that had tree trunks that were 4 foot around. Because it was the wind. But there was so much water in the ground, it just
yeah, the tree wasn't in dirt. It was in mud.
It was in mud. Yeah, it fell over.
Mud don't hold nothing.
Nothing. Especially if the roots are, it doesn't matter if the roots are 8 foot away or 10 foot away, and if they're that big around, it doesn't matter. It's top heavy.
my buddy Jerry, arborist, he tells me that the roots are generally as wide out as the edge of the leaves.
But they're big.
Yeah. Of course, they even go further than that, but, they get a whole lot skinnier, and then, they snap pretty easy when the tree starts going over. But, yeah, when them trees go over, they take a ton or two of dirt with them and stick it up in the frickin' air. Mm-hmm. So when you hire some guy to get the tree out of your yard, nobody wants to touch that damn dirt with a chainsaw. It just roaches out your chain instantly. So,
absolutely it does.
Yeah, it does. I've learned that the hard way. You nick the ground with a chainsaw chain.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah, the oil on your the lube on your chain. Get a little dirt in there.
Keep the tip up. My buddy Ole up in Wisconsin, I'd run a chainsaw. It was like 30, 40 years ago. Keep the tip up. He yelled at me constantly with that. No, I know what I'm doing. No, you don't. Keep the tip up.
Well, no. So the story that I told you earlier about when my grandparents, they had a place here in Fort Worth. And that's back in the old days where you moved into a suburb and you stayed there for 50, 60 years. You bought and you stayed and you died.
Yeah, the grandkids remember the house from the grandparents. It was like was an institution.
Yeah, it's
a family institution.
It's a family staple. It's what you grew up in. And a storm that came through like what we went through tonight. It wasn't the neighbor across the street, but it was a neighbor that was kind of catty corner. But he went outside because he was wanting to see what the hell was going on. And he got hit. I mean, just pegged in the head. But like a 3 or 4 inch ball of hail hit him in the head, and it fucking killed him on the spot. I mean, that's some serious shit. I mean, those hailstones come down with some serious power. You're in that world more than I am. But why does hail develop spikes is what I want to know.
It keeps going up in that hail, to get big hail, that big of a hail, it falls 4 or 5 times. It's fallen, but the updraft is so fierce that it takes the stone back up in the storm again, and it reloads, and then it falls again in the updraft. You do not get 4-inch hail just out of nowhere. If you cut it with a bandsaw, you'll see the layers like a tree almost. You'll see the different iterations of how it developed. So where you get the spikes on it and that, it's part of it falling and melting and recirculating up in a storm. Because you don't just get a 4-inch hail ball to just come winging out of nowhere.
But where's it made? In the storm? Is that what? Well, here's the thing, though.
Well, it's falling and melting and refreezing. It's the melting and refreezing.
But what takes it back up?
Just the wind, updraft. Like you see those big thunderheads that go way up and then flatten out like 60,000 feet. Those things are fed. There's an uprush of wind, so that hailstone's falling in that column of air, but that column of air is going up. That's where they talk about the cap. You know how we don't have a thunderstorm or we don't get any rain? Well, the cap is in place. You always hear the cap. The cap's in place. At least in Texas, you hear this a whole lot. You probably don't get the cap up there in, north of the Mason-Dixon line or something. But when that cap gets busted, that's just an avenue for all the hot air to rise, and it shoots straight up. And hot air carries a whole lot of moisture, being warm air holds more moisture than cold air does.
Absolutely, yeah.
And as it gets up there higher and higher and higher and starts cooling, it starts to fall. But then it depends how much that air rush is, how many times that hailstone picks up more moisture and gets shoved back up, and eventually it gets so heavy it can't, boom. I think the biggest hailstone in the world or something they measured, at one time it was like 6 or 7 inches. It was in Coffeyville, Kansas, about 20, 30 years ago, but it got beat I think it's like 8 inches or something. I mean, that's like a freaking bowling ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's going right through your roof. I used to shingle houses back in the early 80s, and we were on a wood shake roof that literally had holes popped through it, and I took my hammer, and I was trying to simulate that. You just barely dent the wood. I mean, you could look in their attic. It put holes in the roof. And I hit it with a hammer and couldn't even come close to putting a freaking hole in that thing. So I could hit you in the head with a hammer. That'd jack you up, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And this thing's going through the roof. What's that going to do to you?
Well, I'll tell you what happened to my grandma.
Can't wait to hear it.
I'm serious.
I'm messing with you. Come
on.
No. Let's hear it.
No. This is a good one.
All right.
Because she had like the Addams family, like the gray stripe.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like she had at a young age.
I don't want to call it the skunk head, but we knew a gal that we called the skunk head.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is that she at a young age.
I got the whole skunk head.
Yeah, you do, because you're gray as fuck. Yeah. But but this happened to her at a young age, like 13. And she came from an Indian family. Okay, that's part of our family heritage and all that.
American Indian, right?
Yeah, American Indian. So she had long dark hair. Well, she was riding her bike, and she got struck by lightning in the head.
Whoa.
But the rubber tires on the ground stopped the electrocution, right? She did get struck, but the rubber tires stopped everything.
Well, you still get...
She got rocked. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Well, it'll go to ground
that's
through the air. I mean, yeah,
That's I don't know all the.
I won't torture you.
I don't want all the.
That's
physics.
why you can't take a crane within 10 feet of power lines. That shit'll jump and find you. You don't have to touch it; it'll come get you. So that lightning.
Well, that's the same.
Still got to the ground, but the rubber tires did insulate her a lot.
What you're saying? No, you're right. You're 100% right.
She caught a buzz instead of getting
right.
whacked.
But what you're saying though is you're 100% right, because there was a guy that hauled sand and gravel for us. And he lifted his trailer, and he didn't even touch the power line. He just got close, and that power, boom, hit his trailer, and it melted his tires on the spot.
Yep.
All of them.
That electricity's looking for ground, and if it gets close enough, it jumps.
No, melted all of them on the spot. And he was scared to get out of his truck.
Smart man.
Yeah, he's a smart man. That's right. And my dad's an electrician, right? They were sitting there talking, and he was like, "Look, man, get me something to jump out of this truck to land on, to where I don't have to crawl out." But no, what you're saying is 120% correct. It does jump.
Yeah.
He didn't even get close to it. He was just like 6 or 8 feet from it. And it hit his trailer, and it just like...
Here's a public service message for you folks out there. All power lines are not created equal. Mm-mm. Like those high-tension power lines, they don't even have insulation on the wire. It's like a cable. And a lot of that power, it goes through the cable, don't get me wrong.
Well, that's what
there's an aura around it.
Yeah, but that's what this was. That's what I'm saying. It was a power line that did this to his trailer, his truck, his tires, and everything. Had nothing to do with anything else. He didn't touch anything. He just got close enough. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, there's certain voltages too. It's like 186,000 volts, and like come feeding your house or something. I used to kind of know all of this crap. It'd only be like 12,000 volts. That's why you got transformers on the pole, because it steps it down so it can feed the houses. Because you can't put all the power everybody needs down a wire if it was low voltage. I mean, the wire would be, looked like the cable on the Golden Gate Bridge or something. So you can use a small wire, but you got to have that voltage to the moon to pump that much power through that wire, and then you step it all down with transformers, by the end user. So just because a wire is not a wire, man. I mean, if it's got 6,000 volts and it's insulated, you can get that crane a lot closer to it than if it's that shit you're talking about with no insulation on it. It's going to come and find you. Especially, and want to know what else? How humid it is has a bearing on how far it'll jump and come and find you.
Man, you nailed it right there, because it was one of those spring days where there was a lot of humidity in the air, and he just thought he was going to raise his trailer up. And this trailer is aluminum. But it didn't matter. I'm talking, it took his tires, and it was melt.
Did you take it out of his paycheck?
No, he was a subcontractor. This is when we first got started. We didn't understand the whole trucking world and how on top of your shit you got to be. I mean, this was a big defining moment where I was like, whoa, this is what liability looks like. Thank God he was man enough to say, hey, man, it was my fault. I should have looked above, saw the power lines. And
9 times out of 10, he had a margin of error to beat the band. But all it takes is once.
No, but it's...
Heck, Johnny's brother got killed on a job by a power line.
No, I thought that it...
Yeah, I think
it was a power line, yeah.
We were all going to go golfing down in Round Rock or somewhere down in there, and he canceled the golf trip because his brother got killed delivering concrete, wasn't it?
No. He was beside a pump.
Yeah, it was a definite.
It was beside a pump,
but
and
it was a workplace.
A pump gets way up in the air. They get way up in the air.
So it was a concrete job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Well, Johnny is Mr. Concrete, isn't he?
Yeah, and it was a workplace accident.
No. His brother was standing next to a pump. Johnny, I apologize if I'm wrong, but the story that I remember you telling me was that his brother was standing next to this pump, or he might have been standing on the pump.
But same thing.
It doesn't matter though. It wasn't Johnny's pump. It wasn't his brother's. It wasn't his brother's pump. Nothing. But this pump got too close to a power line, and the electricity just shot like a lightning bolt, and it fried his brother. I've got a story about a concrete pump that will fucking blow your mind. Okay, this guy, he came to work for me for a little while. Because those concrete pumps, they can maneuver and do all this stuff, and I mean, but he was on a job, okay, and it happens all the time. I've got 4 or 5 videos to where we were on jobs to where these big pumps, they take that, because normally they go up and then they go down, right?
To reach out to do what
right,
they
and
do.
then they do this. They do this, they do that, they do this, they do that. But sometimes there's a job that you got to do this. You got to extend that thing out there as far as it'll go. Well, when you have those concrete pumps, there's a payload to where you know what the payload is, right? And this guy, it wasn't this. It wasn't straight. It was, well, my elbow just doesn't do it doesn't matter. He had it a little bit of a bend. But what happened is there's 30 guys out there pouring concrete. And he had that thing stuck out there like as far as it'd go. And they do it all the time. They do it all the time. But it just so happened that his pump, the bolts or the mount was wrong, and it snapped. And that whole, we're talking 30 tons or 40 tons or 50 tons of weight that just dropped. And it killed like 8 or 9 people.
Because it comes fast.
No, it was snap, boom. There was no time to move.
And they're walking in all that rebar and everything.
There's no way you can't run in that shit.
That rebar all you know.
There's no way to run.
No, you might be able to dive in a split second, but that's all you got. And
no,
so,
but all that happened was the snap, and it was done. And I'm telling you, it killed this guy for the rest of his life. That's the only second of anything that he's ever remembered, because he worked for me for a long time, and he was so brokenhearted about the guys that died on something that he couldn't control, but he was at the control of what happened.
Yeah. It was out of his control.
But he was in control.
Yeah.
So.
Happens quick. Just like the power line. Bam! I mean, there's no warning.
No.
It's well, setting air conditioners with those big cranes. And I'm always telling people, get out from under that thing. I mean, even if, something falls, I mean, I'm not so much worried about the thing. It's not the big one that happens all the time. It's the little, crap, there's plywood up under the thing that can fall off. There's just don't get underneath something unless you have to be underneath it. I mean, how many people get killed by changing their oil because they jacked their car up with some piece of shit jack? You pay $8 for a jack. You may not want to get under your car. Put some, what do you call them? The ramps,
Ramps, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have an extra layer of protection against the one thing that's saving your ass. You got some stupid jack and you're laying under your car. Hell, if you live in California, you're crazy. Little earthquake, tremor or something, boom, you're crushed. And it happens before you know what happened. I mean,
no, I'll tell you. When Boom did my Camaro, when he was putting my headers in, I walked in the shop one day, and he had my whole car jacked up, and it was sitting on these little bitty peg stands, and he's laying underneath there doing all the exhaust, and I was just like, but to him, he was comfortable. But to me, I was just like, there ain't a dollar worth in hell to lay underneath a car and trust something that somebody else made. And there's a 50,000 pound car laying above my head to make it sound like the wow.
Well, it wasn't 50,000 pounds, but
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I was going to say it was enough.
It was enough.
It was enough.
I don't care what the car weighed, but it doesn't matter. Jesus Christ. It's some of the stuff that, and it happened several times in my concrete career of all the stuff because all the stuff that we did was high voltage, heavy duty.
Well, that's why it pays
dangerous. Why every aspect of what we did was heavy. And if there was a problem, it was a catastrophe. And
heavy and expensive.
No.
Everything was expensive.
Jesus, everything that you touched on one of those trucks, everything that you touched on one of those trucks. I don't care what it was. It could be a switch. $1,000.
Cigarette lighter, $800.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
What was the most you ever spent on one truck?
Well,
let me rephrase that.
no, because you're about to get a big story out of this one if you want that.
Oh yeah, I lit the fuse. Let's go.
Okay. Well, that's what insurance is for. I paid probably $20 to $20. It depended on how many trucks I had at any certain given moment, but anywhere from $20,000 to $25,000 a month is what my insurance bill was. Okay, and that's when the one guy blew through the. He was coming. He was okay. Anybody outside of Texas, I'm sorry. Okay, but here's the thing: he was coming back from Granbury Materials. There was a set of railroad tracks in Crescent that was known for shutting the highway down. Okay? Came blowing through there. And there was a propane truck stopped because he could not stop. Like propane trucks,
School buses.
Yeah, like there's certain many things that need to stop in front of a train track before you can move through. So here comes my truck driver blowing through the whole thing. He's doing like 65, 70 miles an hour. And he looks up and he realizes that there's a propane truck stopped at the railroad tracks.
Yeah, because there's a green light just before. So
yeah,
he probably saw the green light.
It doesn't matter.
No, but he saw the green light and he thought, well, everybody's going.
No, but
not everybody's going.
He thought, he knew that, well, that's the whole thing. That's what I'm saying. Green light, green light, green light. Well, no, propane truck means red light. Okay, school bus means red light. Well, he came hauling ass through this place. Saw the propane truck, and he was like, I can either take this damage, which is concrete wall, or I can take this damage, which is way less damage. He took that damage, and he flew through into oncoming traffic, buried this truck in a ditch, because he was hauling pea gravel, which is basically almost like hauling water. So all the pea gravel shoved up to the front of his truck and shoved him into the ditch like a torpedo. Okay? And I get a call. And it's like, man, Charlie did this, Charlie did that. He's on the side of the road. He's about to die. So I show up. And Jesus Christ. This guy, his face. Look, I don't care what piece of equipment that you've got. Or just a train hitting you straight in the face. Okay? His face was flat as this table. But the outside of his face was exploded. Boom. Boom. And I looked at him and I was like, fuck. His truck was fucked. Everything was fucked. And he ended up, okay, so here's what happened to him. Number one, he smashed his face. Face, not face. Face. Again, we're sorry. We've been through pure hell tonight, so we've been drinking, so don't hold it against us. Okay?
And if he had a face, he would have smashed that too.
Well, he smashed his face and his face. Okay? So I show up, and I'm like, holy fuck. Like, this guy looks like I'm just sitting there going, fuck. And the Carefly's landing. Everything's landing, right? All these DOT people are yelling in my face, and they're yelling. And I'm just like, look, I want to make sure my guy lives, okay? That's my first and That's my primary focus.
Yeah,
right?
worry about the tickets later.
Yeah, no, but he smashed his face, broke his neck, crushed his whole chest cavity, punctured his lungs, broke his back, broke all of his ribs. We're talking about a 54, 55-year-old man. You think that this guy would have died? Okay, this is what the human body can take. Okay, I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but I'm just saying, this is an old man. He's 53 or 54 years old, and just got mangled to death. Care Flight takes him off. Okay, so cranium fracture, broken neck, crushed in his chest, punctured lung, crushed rib cage. I mean, how much more can you do to a guy? Broken spine. I mean, that's a pretty big undertaking. Would you agree?
And at that age, man, it takes a long time to recover from about anything. So that's like life-altering injuries that you're never going to recover from that. You're going to live.
I'm gonna blow your mind with who this guy is. Anybody out there that knows who Charlie's Catfish Bait? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
No, this is what you go to Walmart. And if you want catfish bait,
I bought catfish bait at Walmart, so I probably have bought this crap.
Charlie D's. That's his catfish bait.
That was the guy?
Yeah.
Did he invent the catfish bait after the wreck? Or before the wreck?
Him and his partner's catfish bait have been doing good for a long time.
What the hell's he driving a truck for? Just he's that kind of guy?
That kind of guy.
Charlie's Catfish Bait.
Yeah.
Is it stink bait?
Yeah, it's stink bait.
Okay, I'm just asking. Hell, I can catch a catfish.
I dare anybody to go into Walmart tomorrow, and you go into Walmart tomorrow, go look in the stink bait section of Walmart of the stink bait, catfish bait. That's his bait.
I'm going to buy some tomorrow, and I'm going to send you a picture of it because I'm going to East Texas tomorrow, and I know the Walmart I'm going to go to, and I do. It's funny because I got a lake house, and everybody comes out there to fish. You know, I drink beer and set everything on fire. You know, I get the fire going. Oh, you got to fish with us. You got to fish. So instead of telling people no, and having them, oh, you got to fish, my move is, oh, I'm in a catfish. Yeah, I'm just going to catfish. So that's my way of just throwing a treble hook in the water with, you know, a piece of sausage, a hot dog, or whatever the hell. Okay, so that's how I'd buy time for people not to mess with me. So I am going to buy this catfish bait tomorrow.
Okay, well, here's the deal. He went through all this shit. I'm talking fractured skull, scalped. I forgot scalped. Sorry, scalped. I can't take my hat off, but I'm telling you, he was scalped from here to here.
Yeah, you just gave 10 horrendous injuries, and then, I forgot about scalp.
No, he was scalped. No, his skull.
I believe you. It's just kind of like scalped. That's how mangled. He had so many injuries, like scalped wasn't even.
Yeah, no, scalped.
That was
scalped.
the lesser of all
I'm talking
evils.
Scalped, skull. I saw his skull, and I was just like, God. But when I pulled up, his face, I swear to God, was so square. It was
like a cartoon caricature.
SpongeBob square. Like no nose. No, SpongeBob's got a nose. Okay, but no, his face was it was flat. But here's the thing: instead of like cuts, his face hit so hard. Instead of cuts on both sides of his eyes, it was just like an explosion of.
It split instead of cut.
No, it split, exploded, whatever you want to call it. I looked at him and I was like, fuck.
You probably forgot to mention concussion.
Oh,
there's got to be a couple of those.
He went through everything that a man can go through. Everything. How much can the human skull take if your face is flat?
Evel Knievel would probably be going, oh, God damn it.
Flat! I'm talking flat! Flat! I looked at him and I was like, what? And I asked him, I said, Charlie, I said, how are you doing? He said, I'm hurting, man.
Whoa!
I'm hurting, man. And I was like, here's the fucked up part. Is the DOT. The DOT. This is the people that are supposed to protect us. They're screaming in my face. Who's coming out here to clean up my highway? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Who's doing that? And I'm like, you are. This is what I pay. All these taxes and all this
insurance.
Yes, this is what I pay for. And they were like, no. You're paying for it. And if we do it, you're paying double. We just take what you're supposed to pay and we double it. It's fucking insane. I'm just hoping that my guy lives. That's what I'm hoping for. This is all I'm hoping for, is that this guy lives. Okay? That's it.
And they're worried about some.
They're worried about fucking opening the fucking highway again. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? I had to pay the company that came out to clean up the highway. There was not much to clean up on the highway because he dive bombed into the ditch.
He drove off the highway.
Yeah. I had to pay them $25,000 or 20 to 28, somewhere in there. I had to pay them that to show up. They ended up charging me close to $45,000 to take a street sweeper and sweep my pea gravel off in the ditch.
You know, I remember when this happened because you all of a sudden were going to go into the frickin' clean up the.
That's why I started the cleanup business.
The Shamrock.
That's why I started. That's why I started. I said I'm in the wrong fucking business. I'm in the wrong fucking business.
So this is a true story. He owns a remediation company. Not that he does much with it, but he started it because it was almost like he got a license. I think he did it out of spite more than anything. But it was if that isn't the old I got a license. Now I'm sure those guys. I mean, they got to clean up colossal wrecks and dead bodies and
they do. They do train wrecks. They do. They do big shit.
They serve a purpose.
They do. They serve a purpose.
But when your truck doesn't even stay on the road, and Mark's like, they charged me all that for being out there for a couple hours.
No, but listen to this though. Here's the beauty of all this. Here's the beauty. Is that this guy, he's almost dead in the hospital. He made let's just say he made 80% recovery. Okay? And he did. I don't blame him. He sued me. He sued the insurance and all that.
His lawyer sued you.
Yeah. But I went to one of the hearings.
What grounds did he sue you on? I mean, what did you do wrong? I
didn't do nothing wrong.
But I'm saying,
you know why I didn't have to pay anything? Because he failed for marijuana in his blood test. I didn't pay nothing. It was all on him.
Really?
Yeah.
But I mean, what grounds would they sue you in the first place? He came.
It doesn't matter. It's just because I'm the big bad business owner.
Well, you're supposed to maintain.
They want the
vehicle.
insurance money. They want the insurance money. But here's what happened. They took him to the hospital and he failed. They drew his blood and he had marijuana in his system, and that was it. I didn't pay nothing. Because do you know how much that care flight cost? That one care flight ride?
15 grand?
No, 75.
Really?
Yeah. Care flight ain't cheap, brother. It ain't cheap.
All right, I get that. Yeah, yeah. I guess they got to maintain the helicopter and people on standby and all that. I can see that being expensive. I can see that being expensive.
It's emergency.
Yeah.
Do you know how much an ambulance ride is?
15 grand.
No. No, it's more than that.
Well, I'm old. I remember when 15 grand was a lot of money.
No. Ambulance rides they're expensive.
Yeah.
That's like when Boom hurt himself, and none of you understand this, and I understand that, but Boom was a guy that worked for me. He was my right-hand man, and he bit his tongue off one night. He was outside smoking a cigarette on our job site, and he fell down and he busted his chin and he bit the end of his tongue off. I mean, yeah, I could see it. It was just like hanging off. I mean, it was hanging by like just a thread. And
that just hurts thinking about it.
Oh, well, no, I'll tell you what happened the next day. No, so I told him, I was like, look, dude, because I don't want to be that kind of guy, but when you're running a business, you have to be that guy. You have to be. You can't. So I called the ambulance. The ambulance came, picked him up, took him in, and they were like, look, it's just going to fall off. You're going to have a lizard. You're going to have a lizard tongue. That's it. And they pumped him full of all these meds. And that's the reason why he fell, is because he was on a bunch of meds. He hurt his back. He was on hydrocodone and all sorts of bullshit. And what those medicines do is they take care of the pain, but it lowers your blood pressure. Because what it's doing is it's taking the blood flow out of that throb.
The throb, yeah.
The throb, right? So it's taking that out. So if you abuse those or you do that, then your blood pressure goes down. So that's what happened is he was outside smoking a cigarette and stood up and just all of a sudden, boom, hit his chin on a patio.
So his lights were out when he went down. It's not like he slipped, because if you're alert and you slip, you kind of do some damage control. It sounds like the lights went out.
If you talk to a lot of people that know what pills do to people, like all those pills, that's what it does. It thins your blood to where if you stand up.
Head rush.
What do they call that?
Gray out.
No, not gray out, but it's God dang it, I'll think of it here in a minute.
There's a bunch of people screaming the answer right now.
They're
Podland.
Tell us. That's
why we got to have our 50 viewers. So
comment. Okay, no, it's God, what is the name? It doesn't matter. He fell down, but he hit on the patio, like the rail. He hit where there was a post. So there was no give. So he just bit the end of his tongue off. Okay? So, but it doesn't matter. Oh, God, what is that word? Jesus Christ, it's going to drive me crazy. But it doesn't matter. Oh, good God.
3 a.m, you'll get up to piss and go, boom, I got it, I know.
Yeah. No, I will.
You'll call me up.
Yeah, no, it's there,
text me.
No, there's a word for it. But at any rate.
Yeah, you bite your tongue a little bit, it hurts like hell. I can't.
But
imagine
no, the next morning we go to breakfast or go to lunch, and his tongue is still hanging off. It's not totally bit off yet.
He's fighting through it. Put a Band-Aid on it. Fell off.
Well, no, they had him on so much freaking muscle relaxers.
What do you mean it's still hanging on? They didn't sew it on or do anything?
They couldn't. They can't do that. Your tongue doesn't work that way.
I'm just asking. So
no, your tongue doesn't work that way.
So you took him to the hospital and they said,
no, I called the ambulance.
Home.
I called the ambulance because I wasn't taking him. And the reason why is because he was high as a kite on marijuana, which means that I don't have to fucking deal with it. And that's the reason why.
A liability issue. No good deed goes unpunished. You take him to the hospital, and then all of a sudden, the lawyers get their hands on that.
That's right. And all of a sudden, he's on company property. He's doing this. He's doing that. And doing that. No. He was high as a kite. That's why he fell down. Oh, God, what is the word? It doesn't matter. It's going to drive me fucking bonkers.
I'll give you a dictionary, and you can thumb through it till you find it.
I'm going to find it here in a minute.
When you quit thinking about it, you'll get it.
No.
That's how it works.
Yeah. No.
As soon as you take your mind off it, it'll come in.
No, it's there. I'm telling you. But yeah, he got addicted to all these pain meds. And that's what happened. But we went to breakfast the next day. It wasn't breakfast. It was actually lunch. We were just eating and this, that, and the other. And he's like, I'll take the chicken fried steak with his tongue hanging off. And we're like, Jesus Christ, dude. You know.
Why don't you get the soup?
But no, he took so many pills. And that's what we figured out on the way back. We were like, good God, this kid is fucking loaded on pills. If they gave him 30 pills, muscle relaxers, painkillers, whatever. He took a bunch of them. And because we were on our way back. And he started talking all this gibberish, and we were like, man, this kid is fucked up. He's taking way too much pills. You know. And he flopped out again, and that's what I told him. I was like, look, dude, you got to go, man. Sorry. You're too much of a liability. I don't know what to do for you. I've tried everything for you. I've given you everything. And he was my right-hand man.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it does. It hurts. It hurts. But that's what pain pills do to people.
Hey, and that's before fentanyl. So think of how.
No, he was on fentanyl. He was on fentanyl. That when he hurt his back, they put him on fentanyl.
Okay, but that's like doctor prescribed fentanyl. I'm talking about the bootleg fentanyl crap that is in all these pills nowadays, where you don't even know what you're taking. So at least what the fentanyl he was taking was prescribed. A pill built by a pharmacy that had the right dose in it and all that.
I mean, it doesn't matter though. But it fucked. He went.
No, I'm just saying if you don't abuse them, that's what it's for. But it's not for getting high and let the party roll and good God. Pills nowadays, boy, like Russian roulette. I knew people when I was 40 years ago. I knew people, oh yeah, do this pill, that pill. I always knew to stay away from people when they knew all the doses of all the pills, whatever drug this was or that, 10 milligrams or 5 milligrams or, I'm not talking like, what was the one everybody used? The 5 milligrams were the yellow ones and the 10 were the blue, Valium, Valium. Ain't got shit on what the hell's going on now. But lay off of pills. There's my advice to everybody all the time.
Well, that's my advice.
Any pill.
Well, here's the thing. Even when I hurt my back, I mean, I did. I hurt my back where the spine connects to the hip. My spine came out to the side, and then it fell.
What the hell? Ouch.
And you know how it fell?
Yeah.
I was having sex with my wife. I fucked my back up in CrossFit, doing lunges. Okay?
Practicing for sex with your wife. I didn't just say that.
Well, I wasn't practicing, man.
Well, lunges in the gym are practicing.
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at that. I think everybody knows that we're drunk, but it doesn't matter. We're having a good time.
No,
okay?
he went forward enough to throw his frickin' spine out. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, no, that morning, me and my wife were having sex, and boom, it happened. I was like, fuck. And she was like, oh, like most women do, throw a little Bengay on it. Oh, you'll be fine. You're just bitching and whining and this, that, and the other. No, I had to army crawl to my truck.
So what, go get beer?
No.
Oh, I'm just asking.
No, what I went to do was I went to make sure that this, and I'm even gonna say his name. You fat fuck, Jason Luce, worthless piece of shit, the most overpaid person that ever worked for me. And there's a reason why the guy that you worked before me went out of business. It's because of you. Because you were fucking lazy. And I was not going to make I was going to make sure, even with the dislocated back, I was going to make sure that this guy did not get unemployment. Dead straight. I stood at my fucking desk. I stood at my desk for 4.5 hours puking in the trash can with a dislocated back to not miss his hearing, to make sure that he did not get unemployment, whatever it is. He was not getting it from me. They had to lift me in my truck to get me in. Okay? Jesus Christ. But what I'm saying is that I was prescribed all those medications, all of them. And I'm just not that guy. I don't like the way hydrocodone makes me. I don't like, it's just like when I broke my foot. I mean, I was going through pain, like serious pain, even after surgery. And they were prescribing me these hydrocodone. And I only took what I needed just to alleviate the pain, because number one, I don't like the way it makes me feel. Because to me, hydrocodone ramps me up. Like I can't, most people it'll put to sleep, right? But for me, it just shoots me to the fucking moon. And I don't like that. I just don't like the feeling of not being in control of my body. I want to be in control of my body. If I take alcohol in, or if I take anything else in, it's because I want it in. But that shit. But here's I can just see how people get addicted to it. I do. But I just don't like the way it makes me feel.
Yeah, it's the vortex, man. Once you get in it, you can't get out of it.
No.
It's just, I had a monster toothache one time, and I mean one of those toothaches where I know how back in the 1800s now people, shot up the bar or did something, I mean, think about this. Back in the 1800s, you got no preparation H, you got no pain medicine, nothing. I mean, you could have a guy in the bar, he's got hemorrhoids, he's got a toothache, he's just miserable. You walk in and, you just piss this guy off. He's at the end of his rope. So I had one of them toothaches, they couldn't get me into the dentist. So I got they gave me a prescription for hydrocodone, whatever it was. Yeah. And I took one of those and my toothache went away. And I remember saying, I was talking to my wife or whoever I was talking to, my kid, whatever, I was at my house. And I meant to say the ceiling. And I could not come up with the name of the fucking top of the room. And I was like, it's the top of the room. It's the, and I could not come up with the word ceiling. And I'm like, man, get me to the dentist and get me off of this crap, because there's no future in functioning as a productive society member when you can't even think of the ceiling.
No, I would rather deal with the pain than.
No, this pain was just. There's no worse pain than tooth pain. Other than
I know.
Tooth and back, and anything else that
But I'll tell you a story about my one tooth pain that I had, and my dentist told me. He told me. He said, "Mark, you've got a tooth back here that's going bad." And I went to this dentist since I was a kid. I'm talking like 3-4 years old. That's how long our regiment was.
You should have blamed it on him. Say it's under warranty.
No, but man, he told me, he's like, "Mark, you've got this tooth it's about to abscess," and he knew how I was. I'm a stubborn fucker, I only go unless I got a tooth pain, right? But he kept telling me over and over and over and over and over and over again. And he finally got to the point, he's like, "Mark, I'm telling you, when this shit hits the fan, you're not going to like it. And I know how you are, but I'm telling you, you're going to call me at 9, 10 o'clock at night one night and expect me to drop everything that I'm doing."
On the 4th of July or
something. You're going to expect me to drop everything that I'm doing to fix this. And it's going to be the worst pain that you've ever endured in your life. And it was fucking horrible. And when it happened, it was horrible. And I remember this girl I was dating. Oh my Jesus Christ. Excedrin. She brought me Excedrin when she should have brought me ibuprofen or Tylenol or something else. But she brought me Excedrin and donut sticks. Those sugary, you know what I'm talking about? Those donut sticks that.
Yeah.
She brought. I was like, "Do you really think that I want fucking donut sticks right now?" And your Excedrin ain't touching shit. Okay. And I called my dad. He was like, "Look, I'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I'm not clearing my schedule for you. I told you." And I told him, I said, "Look, when I get there, I'm going to be fucking hammered drunk, because Jack Daniels is what's going to get me through this, because it hurts that bad." And I did. I showed up, and he told me, he said, "You stupid motherfucker. I told you. I've been telling you for 2 years.
You had a time bomb in your head.
2 years. I'm not dropping my schedule for you. I love you." Because me and him were tight. We were super tight. And he was a fishing client of mine. You know what I mean? Like we had a bond. But he kept telling every time we got off the boat, he's like, "Look, your tooth, I'm telling you."
You should have showed up at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
With a hand of $100 bills and Go into the waiting room and go,
No,
who wants a $100 bill to get the hell out of here?
It would have cost me $200 to get it fixed when he told me. It cost me $1,800.
And the agony.
And oh my God. It felt like somebody hit me in the side of the face with a sledgehammer.
Repeatedly.
No, once. Just one good bing.
Nah, mine was repeatedly with the sledgehammer.
But no, the pain was so intense. It was so intense. And he was like, I'll see you at 4 tomorrow. And if you don't make 4 tomorrow, you can make 4 the next day. It's up to you. Been telling you. Coming. So, but what I'm saying though is that I would rather take the pain than be fucking waxed out on those fucking painkillers. Because those painkillers have ruined so many people's life.
I'd take the painkiller for a day and never touch him again. But
I'll take it for the pain.
For the day.
For a little while.
But as soon as you get
it's off.
As soon as you get
I was dating this girl. This is after I went through my divorce when I broke my foot.
Not the Excedrin queen.
No. When I broke my foot. But I gave all my hydrocodone to this girl that I was dating for one of her friends. And he was a guy in need. I mean, he was was he a Marine or a Navy? Anyway, he was a Marine or a Navy guy that had been through some shit, and they cut him off. The VA cut him off, and he needed the pills. And I was just like, here, come get him. I'll deal with this shit. I'm not. Hydrocodone was one of those ones that it made me feel so dirty. I didn't like the way it made me feel. I would rather muscle through the pain. And pain's pain. But pain is no gain. If you don't have pain, you're not gaining. Right? That's everything in life. No pain, no gain.
Yeah, but pain that's just never ending is one thing. But to eat some pills to wait to get to the dentist, that serves a purpose.
No.
That serves a purpose. But to eat pills just to get high or eat pills because, well, I eat pills and that's what I do. Well, what the hell's that mean? You know, I got to have my pills. Why? Well, because that's what I do. And that's what happens. The pill vortex. You get sucked into that and you can't get out of it. Stay the hell away from that shit.
It's some people get addicted to it.
Real quick.
Because they give you a high. They do. When I used to take the hydrocodone when I broke my foot, I would stay awake all night. I couldn't fall asleep till 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I would stay awake all night.
Just watching TV or?
Yeah, just sitting there going, what the fuck? Why can I not fall asleep? Because pain, pills do that. It's just like pot. When I was a kid, I used to smoke pot all the time. Pot would amp me up. That's why I drink alcohol, because alcohol actually brings me down. Okay? I need something just to knock the edge off, right? Yeah, hydrocodone, man, I would take one pill. And again, after I had my surgery and when I broke my foot and all that, I was in pain. I was, and I took some of them. But I'd be up all night. I'm talking all night.
Every night?
Every night. I could not get any relief to go to bed.
So what happened in the middle of the day? Were you napping or crashing or...
No.
I mean, when did you sleep?
In naps.
Just bits and pieces.
Yeah.
That ain't healthy sleep,
No.
Got to get that healthy sleep.
Oh, no, I just don't like the way the pills make me feel. I just don't. But it's just like this. I told you about the sleeping thing. I took the sleeping pills to see if I could just lower my, and no, I'm done with all that. I don't want anything that's going to alter my mood. I'll deal with my mood. I'll deal with it. I can figure it out.
Yeah, when I was in high school, man, the big thing was them Roar 714s and Quaaludes, and I did a couple of those here or there. It was like, man, because I like drinking. You drink with some of them things, oh my God. It's a Roar 714. I hadn't heard that term or name in forever. I guess they came up with new pills that'll jack you up. Probably like weed, the old ditch weed. You could smoke a whole joint by yourself.
Yeah.
Now you do one hit and you're in a coma. I think they did that with pills too. I mean, the pills nowadays are probably totally devastating compared to what they used to be. I don't know. I could be crazy on that because I ain't a pill kind of guy. But one thing I was going to say earlier was stay away from people that know every kind of milligram of this and I took 40 milligrams of that. They're like pharmacists. Well,
they think they are.
Well, but they got so much experience with all these pills that they kind of know all this shit about them. Well, unless you're a pharmacist and you know everything about pills, you're a pillhead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you one more, and we're going to end it on this because I got to go to the bathroom. For once,
imagine that.
For once on this podcast, I have to go to the bathroom. It's because we've been sitting here in the dark for 4 hours drinking, and we just decided, now that we got power, to do a podcast.
To talk about it.
Yeah. So here's the deal. They got me on that testosterone thing. Okay? Because most men my age, I'm 45, we're in that testosterone deficiency. It's because we ate all that bullshit food and all that bullshit that you didn't have to grow up with. We grew up with it, right? That's why there's low T. There's all this process and all this bullshit food that we've been eating and all that whatever, right? So I got on the testosterone program. The pellets, where they stick these pellets in your ass, not your ass, but your ass cheek. Okay, they cut an incision, and it's like Tic Tacs. They pump these Tic Tacs in your ass. Okay, in your ass cheek, to where what happens is the blood flows over them, right? But the regular testosterone is way better than these pellets. Don't do the pellets, because that's what caused my heart issues. It's because what it does is it thickens your blood. Okay? But what I'm getting at is so I did several processes of this, listening to my doctor, of what your doctor says is healthy, it's not healthy. All of a sudden I'm having these problems, right? It's just like taking Vicodin or any of this other bullshit. You don't have to listen to your doctor. Listen to people that know what the fuck they're talking about, okay? So all of a sudden my doctor's like, look, your blood's way too thick. It's your red blood cells. You've got so much red blood cells in your blood because your blood's too thick that you have to start donating blood. So I started donating blood. And I walked into, what's the name of these places? Carter
Blood Center.
Yeah, Carter Blood Center. And I walked in there like, what are you in here for? I was like, I've got to get my blood cycled because I got too many. And they were like, "Oh, so you're on that testosterone pellets? You're another fucking idiot that's taking these testosterone pellets." And
how long before when you started taking them until you realized
2
it was
years.
a mistake?
2 years.
So that's quite a ways.
2 years.
Because I remember you telling me, "Oh, this is great."
No, but it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great. It was great, but it wasn't that great. But here's the thing, though. Exercise will build your testosterone up. Okay? Don't worry about this bullshit that your doctors are selling you. Because in his office, every door that you walked into was a, testosterone pellets, this BioT, this BioT. That's what they were, BioT pellets. Okay? And it wasn't even that good. It was good. But
you saw an improvement.
It was an improvement without all because what the pellets do to you is they give you your testosterone, but they also level out your estrogen level. Because as men, we have estrogen, and it kind of your dosage is it gets both, right? Or that's what it's supposed to do.
That's what the brochure says.
That's what the brochure says. That's right. But I took them for 2 years, and that's what created because my blood was too thick. Now all of a sudden my blood's too thin because they got me on this medication that I shouldn't be on, and I'm trying to figure out how to get off of it, and they're all figuring out how to get me off of it because I'm normal now, because I'm not taking all that bullshit. But the thing is just these doctors are making, because it went from my normal testosterone replacement, which was just a shot that I shot into my leg or my ass or my arm or wherever, or whoever gave it to me, my mom. My mom's a nurse, or I went into the doctor's office to get it done. We're talking $5. These testosterone pellets were $1,800. That's why he was pushing them, because he's making money off of them, right?
Oh, there's plenty of money to go around if they're charging.
Yeah,
that.
But then all of a sudden, after I went through all my bullshit, all of a sudden I'm like, hey man, this, from what I'm hearing, it's not what it's supposed to be. And then all of a sudden the signs are off the door. He's like, hey man, I'm not giving you any more. I'm not giving you any more. And I'm sitting here going, you motherfucker.
It was really good right up till it wasn't, you bastard.
Yeah. That's the reason why I went through my heart issues. It's because what heart can take thick blood? It needs regular blood. And if you're stuffed full of red blood cells,
you cut your arm off and you don't bleed. You got silicone like blood coming out.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
does that set you up
but
for
man,
strokes?
But God damn it, these doctors, they are getting paid. They're getting paid to prescribe you shit. The hydrocodone. It doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter. They're getting paid to prescribe you this.
Yeah, the natural way, or the least pharmaceutical way
is the best way.
The best way
is the best way. Because when they put me on these fucking pills that they all of a sudden I had all these side effects that I never had. And here's the deal. I've always been a pretty healthy guy. Always. I was so healthy before he started injecting those pellets into me. That's when my problems came in. So,
but you didn't put 2 and 2 together.
No. And here's the thing: is that the last 4 or 5 times that I went into my doctor's office, and we're going to end it on this because I've got to piss like a racehorse. Here's my doctor that's prescribing me all this stuff. He's falling asleep in the room. I'm like, whoa, dude. Who's the one that needs their blood checked around here, me or you? You know, like, what the fuck is going on here? You're falling asleep, and I'm here to see you, and you're falling asleep in my room?
That's pretty outrageous.
It is outrageous. And now that I've gone to other doctors, they're like, look, just... Because that's when I put on all the weight. I put on a bunch of weight. And I couldn't understand why I was putting on all this weight. It's because all this fucking medicine.
And then you're going on all them diets and all them fucking.
No, I was living a normal life before then, and I was a jacked motherfucker. Okay, so now I'm trying to figure out it because here's the thing: now that they've got me on all of them, there's a process to get you off of them, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so just check who you're dealing with. Just check who you are dealing with, because they will throw you any medication. It's just like the sleeping pills. He was like, oh, you're having problems sleeping? Here's a pill. And in the middle of the night, I'm in the middle of my refrigerator like a fucking gremlin. My daughter's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? I don't remember doing that. Oh, yeah, I've got you on video. Here it is right here. So what I'm getting at is that pills are definitely not the way.
Take you one for a toothache if it buys you 12 hours at a dentist. Other than that, that's my take. The hell.
Yeah. No, but here's the thing.
Don't let one thing lead to another.
That's right. But here's the thing. We're gonna end this thing right now. And Timmy, we survived the storm.
Good times.
No, we survived the storm. Me and Timmy were sitting here with this. That candle's still burning. That piece of.
Should have saved it for the next time the power's out.
This little bitty ass candle. No, we were sitting here in the dark just going, oh, fuck, man. But here's the thing. Just listen to yourself. Listen to your body. And if your body's telling you something, do what your body tells you to do. There's plenty other ways than all this other bullshit. Okay? So, but here's the thing. This is a drunk Timmy, Marin, and Mark Mahoney podcast, just because we showed up here ready to do one, and all of a sudden we got hit by World War III, right?
The roof stayed on. That's about all we can say about it.
Yeah.
It didn't rain in here.
No.
It damn sure rained out there.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, themostmen.com, because I have butchered this for a while. Okay? I'm trying to go off memory, and my memory is fucked. So, themostmen, men.com, info at themostmen, men.com, and the purpose of Most Man is that we want to build better men. That's the whole purpose. Aside from this is the men's club. This is where all of us, all of us. That's why we need some subscriptions. We need to get to 50. Please, boys, get us to 50. Okay. That way we can do all this stuff live to where all of y'all out there can be involved in what we're doing. We can all have fun. Just let's have a lot of fun. Okay. So I'm just glad we got this one out of the way.
Yeah, we got one in. We
got one in the middle of Mach 3 people on the radio, all the radio guys saying, you know, if you want to know what it's like to be in what they say, what's the first stage of a hurricane? What were they saying?
Category 1.
Yeah, you're in a Category 1 hurricane. Now, if you want to know what a Category 1 hurricane feels like, this is what it is. No, it wasn't. But the fucking power went out, and me and Tim sat here and just had some beers, and we had some fun.
You know, Mark, on the way home, though, I think I'll go looking for some lawn furniture and such. I bet you the street's probably littered with better furniture than I got on my patio. So there's probably some good patio furniture up and down the road.
Oh, yeah. No, it's
maybe a couple trampolines, a bounce house.
It's shopping time for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's shopping time for you.
I'll pick it up.
Anyway, like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, the most men, men.com, info at themostmen.com. Email me. And let's have some fun, boys.
And get your balls back.
Yeah. We're building the man kit. And what the man kit is that you get your man card, you get your balls back, 12-step recovery program on how to maintain, retain. You get all the swag that we're working on. And it's coming soon. It's coming soon. I promise. Okay? So, on that, let's get out of here, brother.
All right.
Love you, man.
Our work here is done. See ya.
It was fun having you. All right. Y'all have a good night. Thank you. All right. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.